369 Lot Life Podcast doing just fine. Look out that window. You can see the mall. So hot on the lot till the sweat runs down my...
Yeah, you're probably good to cut that one off.
Yeah, what do you think about that one?
Yeah,
That
was more recent. I don't know who it was by, but I know the song.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah, I looked it up and now I don't remember who it was by either. So
Yeah.
I know Little John sang on it, so that little fella.
Yeah.
Little John. So he's pretty good. A lot of the kids like him.
That's like
It's not him so much as...
it's still like a 20-year-old song.
Yeah, well, yeah. That window, it went all the way to the wall.
It did go to the wall.
It did go to the wall.
Sweat.
But also wanted to mention, everybody go subscribe. We said we were going to say that earlier in the podcast. But before I do that, I also forgot the intro. Everybody, welcome back to the Randall Ford Studios and another edition of the Lot Life Podcast. Please go subscribe.
We got it in. Go subscribe. We have 24 followers right now.
Tell them what to do.
You just need to go press the link above. It is right there.
Yes, do that, please.
All you have to do is
We've
subscribe.
been stagnant for a while with 24 subscribers.
Yeah. Maybe his singing will get us to 25.
Maybe.
Or
I've noticed that we've stopped growing after I started singing.
might be a little connection.
If we get up to 30 subscribers this week, I will not lead in with music on the next one.
Should have went a little bit higher on that one. Should have been like, if y'all get 120, then I'll stop singing.
Okay, we left it ambiguous enough that I still get to sing. I can come up with that song on the way in here. It's like sometimes I spend 7-8 minutes coming up with that.
It don't take very long.
Yeah, it's tough.
You think of it in the shower, and then you come to work and look at the lyrics.
Yeah, well, no. Here is the cycle how it goes. I think of it in the shower, and then I'm in there, and the shower is like quite a ways to the kitchen where Michelle is usually at that time. Michelle!
Write this down.
Yeah, Michelle! And so she will come in and she goes, what? I go, that's stupid. Yes, that's a score. A lot of times I will write down my ideas on my shower, the door for the shower in the fog. I write it down and then I have to go back because I can't remember. By the time I get out, then I've already forgot. So I have to go. And see, it's like, oh yeah, do that.
You gotta hurry up.
Yeah, the theory of relativity. I almost had that solved, but Michelle cleaned the shower door.
Oh man,
I didn't get it.
Well,
didn't get it.
Well,
I got to E equals M. And then I got MC Hammer.
Well,
it didn't solve anything, but I did go around the world from London to the Bay. Hammer, go hammer, hammer, go hammer. The rest can go and play.
I don't even know what you just said right there. You sound like me talking except for hammer.
We wanted to mention the topics for today, what we are going to do, in case you want to skip over all this fodder that we fill in with, is we're going to do horror movie villains, and we're going to see if I've got a list. We're going to see if Andrew can tell us anything about any of these villains, or maybe the movie they were in.
I don't watch any horror.
If they've been in a movie, maybe I'll sneak in some that aren't actually villains, just to see if he knows them. We'll see.
Mickey Mouse?
Yeah, that's not one.
Oh.
Randy comes to name. Are you familiar with that name at all?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right. The other things we wanted to cover was we are just now wrapping up spring break. Mm-hmm. So we know that a lot of you guys out there are spring broke from a spring break and doing that all week. Didn't get broke here because we were pretty slow this week.
Yes,
a lot of people out doing everything but buying cars, I guess.
That's exactly what was happening.
Yeah, but if you are spring broke, we've got some great deals going on right now. It is still truck month. What does that get them?
1.9 for 72 months on F-150s. Also 90 days to your first payment.
Holy cow.
Which is crazy. So you got 3 months before you even have to pay.
Yeah, you don't have to make a payment in summer. Yeah. Summer will be over by the time you have to make a payment.
And then also, of course, with the new law for tagging, which came in, probably about 6 months ago, 5 months ago for Oklahoma.
Technically, if you want to call half a year ago, if you still want to call it a new law.
It's still new. I mean, it's crazy because people come in here because people don't buy vehicles every 3 years to 6 years. Some people we go 1 year, but most people don't know. It's 60 days until you have to pay your tags anymore.
Yeah,
it's crazy. So that's strong.
Yeah,
so you got 30 days still payment and then 60 days still
that's
tag.
pretty big. That's pretty.
You ain't got to put any money out.
Yeah, no money out.
There's
also a $1,000 rebate on that 1.9. We are giving you a rebate and 1.9% for 72 months.
That's
not
crazy.
some janky little 36-month term where who wants to do that? Ain't nobody trying to hear a 36-month term.
No.
Not with the prices
of
today and
trucks,
the way the economy is. And it's not just F-150s, it's just trucks and new vehicles across the board.
Yeah.
The prices have really gone up. We're trying to do what we can. We're actually offering, if you say you saw it on this podcast, my truck month is still going for F-150s. We'll actually sell you an F-150 below invoice.
Oh, yeah.
And stack that rebate on top of it.
And those below invoice, what he's talking about, I mean, you're talking from sticker to invoice is a dramatic change.
Yeah, I mean, it could be in some cases $7,000-8,000.
Yes.
At least.
And especially lariats.
Yeah, exactly. March Madness is going.
Correct.
If you are like me and anybody else out there that has filled out a bracket.
Or if you're like me and don't watch basketball at all.
Yeah. So whenever I said if you are like me, then I did not mean that because Andrew did not fill out a bracket.
I did not. I would have got every one of them right, though. We already discussed this.
Yeah, because nobody has. I think I heard on ESPN with the brackets they did, millions and millions, 20 million, something like that, it seems like is what I heard. But no one has a perfect bracket as of right now.
I didn't fill one out.
With the NIL money, it just parity in college athletics is just through the roof because no team can really build a team anymore because if the sixth man doesn't get to play and doesn't get all what he thinks he's worth, he will just jump ship and run somewhere else. I even heard about one guy that got some NIL money, switched schools because they paid him some NIL money, and then he decided to transfer back to the original school. So it's going crazy out there.
Well, I mean, it is a job. So wherever you're gonna make more money, you might as well go.
It is, but I just hate to see it because back in my day, whenever they actually called it the rock because it first was developed with a rock.
Yeah.
That they played with a peach basket.
Yeah.
Whenever basketball was first started, but there was these teams where they would just build, and you would see somebody play some as a freshman, and then they play a little bit more, and they get to a senior, and they were such a strong basketball. They had such good fundamentals. It was just so fun to watch. I understand that's not what the game is today.
Yeah.
But I do wax nostalgic for the old times whenever you would see that, and you would root for your team because you would see that player every year. You'd have like 3 or 4 years of that player. Now it's like if you don't start watching your team early in the season, you're not going to know who is there. And if you don't learn them this year, it doesn't matter because it's not going to be any of those guys the next year.
Your first five lineups, not the same people it was last year.
Yeah. So I kind of miss that part of it.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. It's a natural evolution, just kind of like
everything changes.
Everything changes.
Everything changes.
Change. Okay, are you ready for the list?
Yeah, I'm ready for the list. I don't watch horror movies, by the way, because for one, that people that watch horror movies, that's psycho because that you're just asking to be scared, and I don't know who in their mind wants to get scared. That makes no sense. Same thing with eating hot stuff.
It's not the same thing. But
It
both
is.
are fun.
It is.
I like both of these things.
You're
Both of these
getting
things are
scared.
great.
You're literally trying to scare yourself. That is not fun.
It's stimulus. Stimulus is what makes you feel alive.
And then when you're eating hot stuff, all it does is burn your mouth. That is
Tastes
on
good.
line for psychopath. That is. If you do those two things, you're psycho. You need to go to those places where
The places.
they hold you up.
Because that's what. Yeah, I've never seen hot sauce stains on a straight jacket, so I guess they don't get to eat.
They don't get to eat.
Yeah, they don't get to eat them.
They're holding them back from it.
But I think it's far from being straight jacket worthy material. But I did just have an idea. If we can get to 30 subscribers also, you guys can also vote in the comments your scariest movies. Whichever one gets the most votes for the scariest movie, we get to 30 subscribers this week. Andrew has to watch it at night in a dark room and videotape himself doing it, so then we can watch the highlights of you doing that.
Oh my goodness! I would. I'm gonna hope that we don't get to 30 subscribers.
Come on, guys, you got to subscribe.
I don't want to watch scary movies. I'm going to tell you a story, though, real quick, is that my dad one time watching scary movies. My dad's the same way I feel about scary movies. Both hate scary movies because like being scared. Anyways, he was watching a scary movie.
So I have a question for you. Whenever you guys go to the dry cleaners, who can you tell which skirt is whose?
Okay. But anyways, my dad, he told this story one day, when I was when I was younger. He was watching a scary movie. I watch scary movies. Well, it was getting a little scary part. Door slams on his door. Well, he gets up thinking that us, like me and my sister, was playing a little prank on him. So he gets up, he runs to my sister's room, open the door, she's sleeping. He's like, oh, it's probably Andrew. So he sprints down there, my room, opens the door, sees that I'm sleeping, and he said he got chills on how scared he was because he realized both of us were asleep and the door slammed. So he said he ran all the way back to his room, woke up my mom and was like, oh my gosh, the door just slammed, all kinds of stuff. Sadie's asleep, Andrew's asleep. He's like, I don't know what's going on. Mom's like, it's probably the wind from the window. But yeah, he tells that story because he said he got so scared as soon as he realized that we're both asleep, sprinted all the way back to his room and woke up my mom. I was like, God, what was my mom going to do?
So your mom just slapped a knot on his head and told him to get back in the corner?
That's exactly what happened.
Yeah. I remember one time whenever, and you won't even know this movie because it's not even on the list, it was called Salem's Lot. It was a Stephen King based movie, but it was about vampires, and I was sitting at my house. Again, in my time, you could be a child and be unsupervised for extended periods of time. It was okay because nothing was going to happen. I grew up in Coe Hill, so if I ever went anywhere, they would tell my pa anyway, and I would get in trouble. They knew the radius around there. But I was sitting at the house watching this scary movie, and it was getting dark. I was there by myself. I didn't have any lights on because we started watching the movie in the daytime. I was watching the movie by myself in the daytime. Simultaneously in the movie, because vampires, whenever the sun goes down, that's when the vampires get up.
Correct.
They were going into this house to try to kill the vampires. Why they waited till dusk to try to do this? I'd be up at 8 a.m. getting ready to go in there. I'm going bright. I'm going bright. But they waited till dusk to do this. They're trying to get into this house. I look outside. Sun is setting on my house too. So it is the same outside as it is inside the house. The house which I haven't turned the light on yet because I'm sitting on the couch with the covers watching this movie as both movie and real life are getting dark at the same time. About that time, a friend came to the house, wanted to go play wiffle ball, basketball, whatever it was. I was
realistic right there. Yeah.
So yeah, kind of the same story. But I like that.
You're like, oh my gosh, they're knocking on my door right now.
That's one of the greatest things. Vampires typically don't knock.
No, they don't.
But anyway, it was in... I can relate to your dad. Also, I can relate to your dad just like wanting to hit you. Okay, so my best horror. It doesn't have to, but I just think about that a lot. Best horror movie villains. See if you can tell me anything about this. First name pops up, Freddy Krueger. Do you know anything about this name? Does this name mean anything?
Well, I know Freddy Krueger. I don't know the movie.
Okay.
Is it Freddy Krueger the movie?
Freddy Krueger is not the movie. Okay. The name of the movie is A Nightmare on Elm Street.
I know he's the person that goes into sleep or whatever. He's in people's nightmare.
Yeah, glove with knives on it.
He's in people's nightmares and stuff. Got burnt or something like that.
Was burnt? So, okay.
Yes.
We're going to give you a 60% on this one.
That was pretty good.
I knew some stuff except for the movie name.
Yeah.
Next one on the list, Jason. Last name Voorhees, if that helps any. Does that mean anything to you?
Freddy versus Jason?
Freddy vs. Jason, yes. So
is that the movie though?
It was movie number 12 in the list of Jason movies, but it was a movie. So Jason is from Friday.
How many Jason movies is there?
Well, I remember originally as a kid hearing that they wanted to make 13 because his movie was Friday the 13th. So the original plan was to make 13 movies. And they started getting. Jason went to space at one point. So
I just ran out of ideas.
Yeah, so Jason was in 3D. Jason also, he took Manhattan. He went to New York, just walking around. People in New York didn't even know. They just thought he was a regular guy slashing people. A lot of things with Jason. But I think Freddy versus Jason was somewhere around 12. It seems like, I don't know if they ever made it to 13. But they made a bunch of them. I don't know if he has the most
I only
movies.
know of Freddy versus Jason.
But he had a bunch.
I didn't watch that one either.
Chucky.
There's a movie Chucky.
Chucky is named in some of the titles. There was, but originally the movie was
he's a little doll.
Yeah, the movie was called Child's Play. But then there was a Bride of Chucky, and it got a little... there's a series now even about Chucky.
The thing is about horror movies, which is I don't watch the movie, but on TikTok I seen a little Chucky movie of like a bunch of Chucky dolls. It was like a lot of them that were taking over this van.
It's one of those things where in real life you think, stupid little doll, I'm gonna kick that thing.
I'm terrified of dolls, by the way. Terrified of them. I hate the way they look.
Next podcast idea.
No, we're not bringing no doll.
32 subscribers, by the time the next podcast, whenever Andrew has to watch the movie, he has to watch a movie with a little doll sitting next to him.
It's something about just their straight face and them just not moving, and you feel like they're constantly looking at you.
Dolls are scary.
Yeah, they are.
Especially the ones, I don't know how little kids play with these. Little girls play with the dolls that had the eyelids that move where you lay down, and it stands up. It's like that. I was like, ah!
A little too realistic.
Yeah, that is scary.
Yeah.
Give me the doll that pees. I'll take the doll that pees over the doll with the eyelids that
I don't
open up.
want a doll at all. There, my buddies played a prank on me one time. We had a doll. We were scared of it. And I was scared of it. They weren't scared of it. But I threw the doll out. Is what I did. Of course, they got it back out, put it in a different place, and they just kept on doing that. And I'm like, what? I was freaking out for a minute.
The original Elf on the Shelf.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I was a little bit young, so and they were a lot older as my family, my cousins, but they were a lot older than I was, so they just thought they'd play a prank. But terrified, absolutely terrified. Thought it was haunted.
Yeah. Next is Ghostface. Again, a little more current.
I actually don't know of this one at all, just because it's
the one you see at almost every Halloween. There's like 28 people in your neighborhood probably that have that white face. That's from Scream.
I know Scream.
Yeah, Scream was actually a movie. It was a takeoff on all of the 80s horror movies. They kind of did that as a tribute to those type of movies. It was the same thing. The rules of horror movies.
See, I didn't watch the ever Scream of actual horror movies. I watched the Scream that was funny.
Yeah,
that horror funny movie. That's the ever Scream that I ever watched.
Yeah,
that's about it.
It's like the rules of horror movies. They always run upstairs. If you get chased by a killer,
100%.
you're going to run upstairs where you can't get away.
Yeah,
it's like you can't run through a field without tripping.
100%. And you got to get in a car that never starts.
Yeah, these killers always walk like this, and yet you can have an Olympic sprinter that can't outrun Jason walking. He takes off, and then tortoise and hares, like he stops and then he's like,
That's like the Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah, exactly.
I've seen that movie.
Yeah, I didn't put that one on the list. That was a little too simple.
Look at that. Yeah, Chainsaw.
Michael Myers. You got two choices here, actually.
You know, honestly, I thought Michael Myers and Jason were probably the same person.
Okay.
But
except Michael Myers was actually in Wayne's World.
What?
Wayne's World.
Yeah, I know Wayne's World, but that's not a movie.
That's Mike Myers.
Yeah, but I was
he's not the one we're talking about.
I know Wayne's World, but I was about to say he's not scary at all.
No, Michael Myers was from Halloween.
Okay.
One of possibly, in my opinion, the scariest soundtrack movie things. If you can, just pause. If you can stick, well, you can't stick that in there because it'd be a copyright thing, but that.
Yeah. Terrifying.
It scares me.
See, I would never know because I don't
watch it. Such a good scare, though. I love it. Okay. What about this one's a little more from your time? Jigsaw. So that was the one. Are you familiar with that one?
Yeah, I know Jigsaw.
Okay.
Because Jigsaw.
You know the movie? What movie was it? Come on, you can get one movie. Name a movie. If you had a piece of wood and you had to turn it into two pieces of wood, what would you use?
Say that again.
If you had a piece of wood and you had to turn it into two pieces of wood, what would you use?
Screws? Nails?
Nails will not turn wood into two pieces of wood. They will join pieces of wood together.
An axe?
An axe would do this, but that is not the name of the movie.
Saw?
There you go. There you go. So,
I don't know why.
Yeah.
What did I say Jigsaw before this?
Yeah, Jigsaw. Actually, the name of the movie is in the main character's name.
But I did that with Michael Myers, Jason.
Yeah.
I did Freddy versus Jason.
Yeah, you got all around it. So I can see how you made it through school. You got that 60%. You couldn't quite get to that C, but you weren't an F. So your teacher just said, "I don't want to see you again next year." So
you don't know how many times they actually were like, "Hey, if you don't show up, you're not gonna graduate." I still never showed up
because they're like, we were just bluffing. He's so disruptive.
I play enough poker. I know.
He was just so disruptive. I don't want him for another year.
But on Jigsaw,
and he eats all the snacks. I think
not anymore. Not anymore.
Because he's been really good. But in school, he did eat all the snacks, and that's why he has had to work out so hard over these last couple of weeks. Because that metabolism just doesn't stick with you, does it?
No,
you start getting wait till you get ancient. Whenever you get to my age, it can be like I can watch a commercial about ice cream and be like, I just weigh 3 pounds more. I don't know how that happens.
Well, back on the Jigsaw one, that is, let me tell you, that is not a scary movie, so I've seen it.
No, those were a little more towards the gore. They kind of started going into that. They actually started, there's a whole topic of stuff called horror porn, where movies like that, The Green Inferno, if you haven't seen that, I don't know if I can recommend it. It's just so gross. It's about cannibalism down in South America with touristas. There's a lot of those movies that they just, for the horror shock factor, is, I mean, they're just trying to rip out eyeballs. They're trying to make people eat intestines, eyeballs popping, all kinds of stuff. It's just for the shock factor. That's what they wanted. They're going after. That was the new thing to do. I don't enjoy it as much. There's not the suspense.
Just thinking about it. Woo.
Yeah,
just thinking about the stuff that they do. On
Yeah.
that show, I'm like.
Another one though is The Creeper. Do you know?
Creeper is scary. I have seen that movie.
What is the movie?
I don't know.
This is your chance to get the movie without hints.
Jeepers Creepers.
Okay, I didn't have to say they rhyme.
Yes, so I have watched that movie.
Okay.
This is probably the one of the movies that I watched and I probably got me away from watching any other horror movie ever in my life.
Ruined you?
This is the one that ruined me. Yeah, I still remember it as me. I was like 9, 10 watching this one. It was Jeepers Creepers on the Bus. I don't know which one that one is.
That was number 2.
So that was number 2. But there was the driving in the bus. He's out in the field. You know, hits the tire, stops the bus. But the scene that sticks with me to this day is him tearing open the bus. Going down because the kid's like holding, I don't know what he's doing, but the kid's like holding something and he just takes off his head and it takes off. And I'm like, oh my God. Now I think about it, there was no blood or anything really. It was just like they grabbed a toy doll and took off his head. But it still terrified me when I was 9 and 10.
Well, and I mean, a lot of people don't know this, but that was actually based on a true story of somebody that wrote a book that was fictional about this, and they made it into a movie.
Didn't know that.
Okay, all right.
I'm terrified now.
Just a few more. Pinhead. I made it cultural, where there's kind of been a spin-off on a bunch of stuff.
Well, I think Pinhead is, I mean, he's got all the pins in his head, of course, but I don't know what the movie is.
They went all out with the name of these bad guys.
Pinhead?
Yeah, that is the name. The name of the movie is Hellraiser.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah.
That's a pretty good
name.
Yeah,
exactly. And then, of course, the last one on my list is an old, because I am old, you got to go back to the classics and be Norman Bates. He had a motel.
No.
It was the original Alfred Hitchcock movie, Psycho. Shower scene.
The guy that killed everybody in the showers?
He didn't kill everybody in the showers. He killed the first person in the shower. His mom, he preserved her, and she was actually up in the attic. A rotted corpse. It was like this, and he could hear the voices. So it was one of those things, black and white movie, but it was a classic horror movie. Kind of that was like one of the originators of the scary movie. Alfred Hitchcock.
A hotel and a killer kind of sounds like a old classic.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But they did make it into a series too. So anytime if they can make it into a series, and it stood the test of time, there's some meat on the bones then for it to
It didn't last until my time though.
I think it made it 2 seasons maybe. The Bates Motel, I think was the name of it.
Bates Motel.
Yeah.
Never heard of that one.
Yeah, I didn't watch it. I didn't really like the original Psycho. It was a little
Psycho?
It was before my time. So it wasn't.
Oh, it was before your time.
Yeah. It wasn't the gore fest that we talked about with Jigsaw and some of those movies, but it also was a little too just based on suspense. There wasn't enough action. There wasn't a Freddy or a Jason or a Michael Myers in it to really keep my attention. Therefore, it didn't really transition. I was like, oh yeah, that's cool. I appreciate it.
Didn't have really of a background or anything like that.
But I think you did do pretty well. Again, it's probably enough to get you the 60% score. I don't know.
Hey, for someone that doesn't watch any of those movies,
I don't know if you got a D+, but I'm not giving you a D-. Good passing score practically, so it's been enough to get you through life. I don't know why.
That's how I've lived it. I never had to study through school, never anything like that. Just minimum.
Believe it or not, it shows.
I don't think it does. It does it?
No, I believe that you never studied.
Oh, okay.
You don't have to. I'm not going to argue that point with you.
I don't study on these cars either, though. But they just come to. Well, after you do them so long, you just kind of know.
Yeah.
But
it's good for those customers coming. It's like, I'm looking for something that drives. I've got it.
I do. I know.
I don't want to bore you with a bunch of details on it. So my osteoporosis, I think, has started to settle in as this podcast has moved on. I think my spine is shrinking as we speak.
I hate that chair.
Slowly it comes back up. So,
That's Matt's chair, so I wonder if he's like sitting there talking to customers and just sitting there like, hey, you want to buy this?
hey, this is right there. This is who it is, right there. Just so you know.
Ford, like I say, but Ford gives us testing, which is I probably have Ford testing to do this month, but I never study on those things either. Sorry, Ford. I don't. They put out a bunch of stuff all the time that we do not use.
Good to know.
Yeah.
The studio audience that was thinking about coming and buying a car from you, I think you have saved their afternoon.
Well, good. Well, I know about all the cars that they know.
Yeah.
But they're like, Ford's testing is like nothing to do with cars.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Who is the creator of the valve stem? I don't know. I can put air in it whether I know that or not. I have never been asked at an air hose. It's like, well, you know who created that? Because you can't get it if you don't.
What's another one that there's a whole testing I couldn't pass that was it was something dumb that Ford does that we don't even do here.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a long test, but
if you can't tell, he's still a little bitter about us not winning the Blue Cruise video because ours was the best.
Yeah,
ours was the best.
It was.
I don't know why we didn't win.
I wish we'd won that one.
It was fixed. The whole thing was in. They had to end with it. We weren't going to win from the start. If we would have known that, we still would have done it because we had a lot of fun.
Yeah, we did. It was a good video.
It was a great video. If you haven't watched that video, maybe you can put a link. Maybe you can click a link to that so we can get that.
Well, it's on our Ford website, too.
Everybody go check out that video. It was a lot of fun. The Blue Cruise is pretty cool, so it wouldn't hurt you to check out. Man, we have rambled on.
Yeah, we have.
We had a technical glitch in the middle. Hopefully the editing was spliced where you wouldn't know that. But we have been sitting at this table for what seems like an hour when actually it's just been probably 40 minutes.
Probably. Still a 20-minute difference. But go ahead and we said this at the very beginning, but if you can go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube, we're trying to get to at least 30 followers. I'm really wanting to get to 25. I don't care.
No, we want to get to 30 because we want the horror movie.
I'm really just trying to get to 25.
Vote on your horror movie or I will pick it for him.
I'm really trying to get to 29 subscribers.
In a dark room.
He
watches the horror movie.
29. But if
with
you don't
a camera on him.
No.
Filming his reaction.
Subscribe to the YouTube or don't subscribe. I don't care at this point. Because if you do it
while he watches the horror movie.
You can wait until next week to subscribe if you want to. But yeah, subscribe on that link. It's above. And if you don't mind, share this out there so we can get out there too. It just helps us to get out
more
there.
people share. We haven't been getting the shares that we need.
Share. Yeah,
link.
I don't care if you like it, but share and subscribe next week.
All right. And we will see you next time, correct?
Absolutely.
We're out.